this is Isabella. Welcome to my channel, where you can listen to me tell stories. Let's begin. Wisdom and Courage, a journey through Aesop's Fables. Once upon a time, in a vast and enchanting forest, teeming with diverse flora and fauna, a tapestry of tales unfolded, each weaving the threads of wisdom and courage. It was a realm where animals of all kinds roamed, and where the lessons of Aesop's fables thrived, inspiring those who sought the path to success. In this rich, ancient woodland, the stories of birds, cats, turtles, hares, ants, and cicadas unfolded. Chapter 1: The Bird and the Cat. In a quiet corner of the forest, a small but brilliantly colored bird, known as Avia, made its home high up in a towering oak tree. Avia had vibrant plumage and bright, inquisitive eyes that sparkled like gemstones. Its nest was a masterpiece of avian architecture, meticulously woven into the branches and positioned high above the ground to ensure safety from potential threats. Yet, in this forest, there resided a cunning and sly cat named Leo. With fur as dark as midnight and eyes that gleamed with calculated intent, Leo had long harbored a desire to feast on Avia's succulent flesh. To Leo, the bird was a prize too tempting to resist. Leo often prowled beneath the oak tree, his predatory gaze locked on Avia's nest, plotting how to seize the bird. However, Avia had always been cautious and alert, heeding the wisdom of its ancestors. It knew that danger lurked in the shadows of the forest. One day, as Avia returned to its nest with a beak full of berries, it noticed Leo waiting below, a fresh catch of fish in his jaws. The cat, seemingly benign, greeted Avia with flattering words, praising its exquisite plumage and enchanting song. Leo's silver-tongued praises flowed like a honeyed river, all in an attempt to exploit Avia's vanity. Avia listened and found Leo's words to be charming, momentarily flattered by the compliments. However, the bird's mother had once shared a valuable lesson. Beware of false praise, my child, for it often conceals ulterior motives. With Leo continuing to lavish praise upon Avia, the cat urged the bird to come down and feast on the delectable fish it had caught. It insisted that such a beautiful and talented bird deserved a finer prize than mere berries. Avia, though tempted by the cat's words, remembered its mother's wisdom. Instead of descending from the safety of its nest, it remained perched, clutching the berries tightly in its beak. Avia, with resolve in its eyes, uttered a gracious but firm reply. "Thank you, Leo, for your kind words, but I am content with my nest and these berries. They are enough for me." Leo's plan foiled. The cat begrudgingly retreated, his predatory schemes thwarted by Avia's wisdom and humility. The lesson of this tale was clear. Vanity could blind one to deceit, and humility and wisdom were the keys to preserving one's treasures. Chapter 2: The Tortoise and the Hare. In the heart of the forest, a competition of epic proportions was about to unfold, one that would embody the essence of swiftness, humility, and perseverance. It was a race between the tortoise and the hare, a story that transcended time, teaching that a swift beginning did not guarantee victory, and that the path of slow but unwavering progress could overcome the rush of haste. The forest denizens gathered to witness the race, eager to observe the competition between two of their most iconic residents. On one side stood Terence, the tortoise, known for his steadfastness and unwavering determination. His hard shell and determined eyes spoke of a resilience that had weathered many challenges. He was a symbol of patience and humility. On the other side, there was Harvey, the hare, a creature of boundless speed and boundless pride. His swift legs and cocky demeanor exuded confidence in his abilities. He was known for his quick starts and abrupt pauses, which often led to complacency. As the race commenced, Harvey dashed ahead, leaving Terence far behind. The onlookers marveled at the hare's agility and speed, and some began to place bets on his inevitable triumph. Harvey was quick to show off, performing somersaults and acrobatic stunts for the audience's amusement. However, Harvey's self-assuredness led him to underestimate Terence. Believing the race was in the bag, he decided to take a break under the shade of a tree, confident that he could still win the race with ease. Terence, on the other hand, maintained a steady and resolute pace. He knew he couldn't match Harvey's speed, but he was determined to give his best. With unwavering determination, he trudged forward, step by methodical step. The crowd watched in astonishment as Harvey lay under the tree, his eyes growing heavy with sleep. Meanwhile, Terence continued his slow but unswerving progress, each step bringing him closer to the finish line. In a climactic turn of events, as Harvey awoke from his nap, he was stunned to see Terence on the brink of victory, his slow and steady approach about to triumph over haste. With a burst of energy, Harvey sprinted towards the finish line, but it was too late. Terence crossed the finish line, securing an improbable victory. The moral of the story was evident. Success was not solely determined by speed, but by persistence and humility. It reminded the forest's inhabitants that in the face of challenges, underestimating one's competition was a perilous mistake, and that unwavering determination and humility could lead to triumph. Chapter 3: The Ant and the Grasshopper. In another part of the forest, a different tale of diligence and preparedness was unfolding. Here, the ant and the grasshopper, both exemplars of contrasting lifestyles, were living out a parable of industry versus leisure, and of the wisdom of saving for the future. In the corner of a sunlit meadow, there lived a diligent and prudent ant named Amelia. Amelia was known for her tireless work ethic and foresight. Throughout the seasons, she diligently collected grains and seeds, storing them away in her underground chambers. Amelia knew that nature's bounty was not constant, and she prepared for times of scarcity. Her fellow ants admired her industry and appreciated her efforts. On the flip side of the meadow, there was Greg, the grasshopper. Greg was the embodiment of carefree hedonism. He spent his days frolicking in the meadow, strumming on blades of grass like a musician, and reveling in the joy of the present moment. Greg laughed in the face of future worries and danced through life without a care. The meadow's other inhabitants often raised concerns about the impending winter, warning Greg that he needed to prepare, but he dismissed their advice. Why worry about the future when the present is so delightful? Greg would respond with a nonchalant shrug. As summer faded into autumn, and autumn eventually gave way to winter, the once lush meadow transformed into a frigid, unforgiving landscape. The grasses withered, and the ground became hard and barren. Greg found himself hungry and vulnerable, with no food to sustain him through the harsh winter. Amelia, on the other hand, had foreseen this turn of events. Her granaries were filled to the brim with carefully collected grains and seeds. She had worked tirelessly to ensure her survival, and her wisdom in preparing for lean times was evident. One day, as Greg's stomach growled and the biting winds cut through his frail form, he made his way to Amelia's anthill, a humble request for sustenance on his trembling lips. Amelia, though aware of Greg's past indifference, took pity on him. She shared her provisions, sparing him from the brink of starvation. The lesson of this tale was as clear as the winter's chill. Diligence and preparation were the keys to success, and neglecting responsibility out of a desire for momentary pleasure could lead to dire consequences. It was a parable that echoed through the seasons, reminding all who heard it of the importance of industriousness and foresight. Chapter 4: The Counsel of Wisdom and Courage. As the stories of Avia, Terence, and Amelia were told and retold throughout the forest, a council of creatures gathered to reflect on the lessons imparted. It was a grand assembly under the ancient, towering trees, attended by animals of all walks of life, each eager to share their insights. At the heart of the gathering was Avia, the bird who had resisted the cat's cunning, Terence, the tortoise who had triumphed over the hare's arrogance, and Amelia, the ant who had wisely prepared for the harsh winter. The forest's elder, a wise old owl named Orin, presided over the council. With a keen sense of perception and knowledge that spanned the ages, Orin called for the stories to be shared once more, inviting each creature to reflect on their lessons. Avia, with eyes that sparkled like the gems of the forest, spoke of the importance of humility and wisdom in the face of flattery and cunning. Vanity, Avia proclaimed, can blind us to the deceit that lurks beneath the honeyed words of others. It is our humility and wisdom that must guard our treasures. Terence, with the wisdom of ages reflected in his patient eyes, shared his story of perseverance and humility. Speed is not the sole path to success, Terence mused. We must never underestimate our competitors, for it is our unwavering determination and humble beginnings that can carry us to triumph. Amelia, the embodiment of preparedness and industry, spoke of the perils of neglecting responsibility for the fleeting pleasures of the present. Diligence and foresight, she emphasized, are the sentinels that guard us against the harsh winters of life. As the council continued, one by one, the forest's inhabitants shared their own stories, revealing how the lessons of Avia, Terence, and Amelia had touched their lives and shaped their choices. The Council of Wisdom and Courage united creatures from all corners of the forest, inspiring a shared commitment to humility, perseverance, and preparedness. As the gathering concluded, the lessons of these enduring stories were etched deep into the hearts of all who attended. Epilogue: the ongoing saga. And so, in the heart of that ancient forest, the stories of Avia, Terence, and Amelia lived on. They were no longer just tales to be told, but values to be upheld. The forest's inhabitants, whether feathered, furred, or scaled, sought to embody the wisdom and courage that these stories had imparted. As each season passed and new challenges emerged, the wisdom of humility, the strength of perseverance, and the prudence of preparedness guided the creatures of the forest. The forest was no longer just a place where stories were heard, but a living testament to the enduring lessons of Aesop's fables. In the end, it was not the grandeur of one's plumage, the speed of one's legs, or the size of one's pantry that determined their success. It was the wisdom to discern truth from deceit, the courage to face challenges with humility and determination, and the foresight to prepare for the changing seasons of life. And so, the stories of wisdom and courage continued, echoing through the woods, through the generations, and through the hearts of all who dared to seek success in the forest of life. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, giving it a thumbs up, sharing it with your friends, and don't forget to leave a comment in the section below. I look forward to seeing you in the next story.